Dobry den. So today is Wednesday, April the 22nd, and we are going to take a journey that's going to take us from a local to a lokal and a few stops in between. So I would have done this video on Sunday, but I was a bit under the weather. Sunday was another trip around the sun for me, so I'm going to celebrate a little bit today with this video. A local to a lokal and a lot of stops in between. So in the words of Adam the Woo, I hope you'll join me. Shall you? So I am starting this video off in the same spot that I started the other one. It's actually right by where I live in Prague, but it was just way too busy up at the street level to do proper intro with traffic, lots of street washers out right now. So started here at the David Czerny Věra statue. Again, if you're in Prague, great statue to come check out here. Věra Čáslavská, famous Czech gymnast at the so-called HQ. So let's start the journey. I hope you'll join me. Let's go have a great day. So we're on Újezd heading up to the local. Just cross the street over here. Get to the other side. Pizzeria Carmelita. Great pizza. One of my favorite spots here in Mala Strana. If you're in the area, come check it out. So-called headquarters. This is why the great Strahov Stadium was built, to house the gymnastics events that they put on. Dobra Trafika. If you ever want a place with really good local Czech music, this is the place to come. There's a tabak in the front, but cafe in the back. Downstairs, a nice music hall. I was here last Thursday seeing my good friend Golda from Znozecnost playing. Znozecnost, very famous Czech punk rock band. They've been together over 40 years now, and they're based in Pilsen, but they come up here often. I was introduced to them almost 5 years ago now, and Golda has become a good friend. But they are legends of Czech punk rock music. But really good place to come in Prague. Right at the base of Petrin Hill. And today, our first stop is going to be my local, Pod Petřínem. They open in about 30 minutes, but I thought I'd do some pre-filming and then get over here before crowds get in for lunch. But this is my local in Prague, one of my favorite pubs. And I'll go through everything about this pub once we get inside. So we'll go into Pod Petřínem here in just a little bit when they open. Normally I would not be coming to a pub this early when they open, but given the fact that you have to be careful even now in the Czech Republic with filming people inside establishments, I want to get in. So we'll go in, we'll take a tour, give you a little background of my favorite local, and sample some of the beers, talk about some of the beer pourings, have a little bit of lunch. But just a quick one for Liverpool fans. So this right here is the back end of the Mandarin Oriental Hotel. And 2 years ago when Liverpool came to Prague, this is where the Mighty Reds stayed. And the big red bus, You'll Never Walk Alone, pulled down this street. I'll put some of those videos into this video. But they entered through that door, the players, when they came to Prague to play Sparta. So that's the Mandarin Oriental. We'll walk around to the other side a little bit later. Petřín Tower. Local pub. So again, today, local to Lokal. If you know, you know. If you don't know, soon you'll know. Another couple weeks, there'll be chairs out here on the sidewalk. Place to sit outside, order food and drinks, and watch life pass by in beautiful Prague. Okay, let's head on in. Welcome to Pod Petřínem. Dobrý den. Pivo, prosím. Hladinka. Thank you. So a little tour around. Everything in localese. Got the menu on the board. All in Czech, but they do have English menus. Take you back, show the tanks. This is the where the mother's milk is made. So here we got 500-liter tanks of beer. So this is really what makes a great pub in the Czech Republic, in Prague, is tank beer. You might have heard me say that in my video on Habri, but the beer trucks bring these up from Pilsen, Pilsner Urquell, gets pumped directly from the truck into these tanks. So the trucks have 48 hours from the time they're filled to the time that they get to the, in between then and when they get to the pub. And then once a tank is opened, the beer has to be consumed within 5 days. So basically the levels of beer you have the tank beer, which is what Pod Petřínem has. Then you have places that have keg beer and keg and bottled beer. But the freshest beer, the equivalent of what I say this is like in the US, this is like going to the dairy to buy your milk. So high quality beer, not to mention in this refrigerator area, it's nice and cold and perfect in the summertime. But that's it. Those are the beer tanks. We got 4 of those here. I don't know how many. It looks like he's got 3 that are filled right now, 1 that's not. So it's a little tank beer tour. So another interesting thing, these tables are reserved for locals. So that's one, or regulars. So that's another cool thing about a local pub, is they have tables that are reserved at all times for regulars of the pub. So you come in, often you'll have locals sitting with locals, and then you have the other tables around there. But this is a great pub. This is my favorite pub in Prague. Just a cozy place, great service, great food, inexpensive food, traditional Czech. Big when the sports games, the hockey games are on. And this is pour would be Heleninka. This is a traditional pour. We'll go through some of the other pours as well. So Vaclav was just telling me about this. I'll translate this sign. So this is an original sign that they actually found. It's 93 years old, and what it says, translated, is: others in Soviet Russia have 7 hours working time, 4 days per week, a month's paid vacation, vote communists. So this is propaganda that would get put up around Prague during the communist times. So yeah, there you go. And then again, this would be, a table like this would be called a Stammgast. So it's a table for regulars. Because this is a neighborhood pub, they actually have this. So local regulars come in here. We'll always have a reserve sign on it. There's one here, sometimes one in the back. But again, here's the bar area. There were some people in here earlier, so I didn't want to interrupt them on video. So on tap, Pilsner Urquell in the tank, Kozel dark beer, Beer Ale would be the non-alcoholic beer, Czech Cola, and then another brewery. But the one here is Pilsner from the tank. This is where they'll have the glasses, always clean. Nice, cozy pub. you're going to come here on a weekend or at night, sometimes it's really good to make a reservation at night. It gets pretty busy. But this is my favorite pub in Prague. Great pub. We're going to have something to eat and then try a few more beers. And we got chicken steak with mushrooms. Great prices here. Now we're going to have a chaktan. No foam. Now we're going to do mliko, milk beer, all foam.
Glass of milk.
Glass of milk for the ladies. So for everyone, this will make everybody cringe. So that's all foam, but it will turn to beer. So this one's a schneet, right? Schneet, which is just small, right?
Small beer actually in big glass.
But I'm going to embarrass him. Everybody, this is Vaclav. It's his pub. Come in and say hello. Best pub in Prague right here. Schneet. Ciao. Thanks, Vaclav. Ahoy, ahoy. One of the best hockey players in the Czech Republic, this guy right here. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. That was actually Mr. Zelenka when we were leaving, and he is Sparta Prague legend. My lens was going wacky there. So I hope you enjoyed that one. It was really difficult filming in there. Got busy at lunch. So now we're doing local to Lokal. Pardon the wind. Cover off some of the places here. There's the Embassy of Finland and Norway, and also Japan has a space in there now. I always think of my friend Mika Lerki from Porvoo. My wife and I met visiting Porvoo, Finland many years ago. It's one of the famous duck restaurants in Prague. 20 years I've been coming, I've been there once, and it is really, really good, but fancy. This is the Mandarin Oriental. I stayed there. My wife and I stayed there once for a night. We came to Prague. We were living in the US, and staying with the outlaws got a bit old, so we came to stay there one night before we left. So this building here is actually the Ministry of Culture, but it used to be, I hope I pronounced this right, the Nostitz Palace. And inside this building is a library with 15,000 books. So the person who had it built was Count Jan Harvik of Nostitz, and he accumulated a library of over 15,000 books. And despite time from communism, before that the Nazis, in time that library survived, but it's only open certain times a year to go inside. So now this is all the Danish embassy. Used to be Japan and Denmark. Japan was here, so it's moved down the street. So this statue is John the Baptist, and it's 311 years old, this statue. So it used to be a pond or a fountain here, and that was removed in the 1800s. And so John the Baptist, 311 years old, this statue, much older than my home country. So this building here in front of me is from the Knights of Malta. They've actually been in or had this location here for over 900 years, and the only time they didn't was during communist times. After communism, it was handed back over, but I believe they were invited here in 1158 as the protectors of the Judith Bridge, which preceded the Charles Bridge in Prague. So they were brought here to guard that bridge. Let's make a little detour here. Embassy of France. Not the best with the sun coming in. And then across from the Embassy of France is the Lennon Wall. Embassy of France is a beautiful building. Café de Paris. Good restaurant, really good food here. The guy who owns this is one of the bartenders from Cantina from years ago. Pavel. So this building here, so Beethoven stayed here ages ago. Every time I see this, I think of the mall scene from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure when Beethoven plays the organ. But yeah, he stayed in this place. Again, another building owned by the Maltese Order. Lesser Town Tower Bridge. Charles Bridge is packed. So this place in front of us is where school kids come to get their lunch. So there you go. I said local to Lokal. So we'll grab a beer in the Lokal. Another famous, there's 7 of these across Prague. This is a great one, great location, right by the old town bridge tower, or lesser town bridge tower, sorry. So let's go try to order a beer here. Got the tank under the bar here. Chaptan. There's my chaptan. Just a little bit of look inside. Again, hard to film with all the people and stuff like that. Traditional beer all. So not a bad spot to come enjoy a beer in Prague. Wednesday afternoon. At the Lokal. So again, we went from a local, my local, Pod Petřínem, to Lokal, with a few stops in between. And no, drinking this early on a Wednesday is not normally the routine, but wanted to do this video and get this in of great places to visit in Prague. So the restaurant a little bit old style cafeteria. Okay. Gonna show one more extra little bit, given we're over here. My biggest pet peeve in Prague is the graffiti that is all over the place. And people who own the buildings normally try to do a good job of painting over, but it becomes really expensive for them. Because the next day, people come by and paint graffiti. It's just no respect for the history and architecture and people who lived here. And so one last location, if we can get there, if the lines aren't too long. Big line. So Prague is known for its passages. We'll go down the most narrow passage in Prague, but there's a line today. You have to wait for the light. All right, we got a green. This is the narrowest passage in Prague. It was built to get the fire hoses down to the river. So this is my first time going down this. So first time for everyone, but you have to wait for the lights. See, red on this side. So how about that? In the night I got engaged to my wife, we had our dinner in that restaurant right there. "20 years ago. So there we go. So I hope everyone enjoyed the video today, going from local to Lokal, a few sites in between. Little extra detour I didn't have planned for today. Hope you enjoyed it. So much to see in Prague around every little corner. We're going to finish up at Czerny's peeing statues. Plenty of these in my other videos. I'm not going to show it now. Too many people around, but I hope you enjoyed the video. And check out some of the other videos in my Prague series. Leave a comment, a like, and the video is over.